If you are about to walk away from someone because everything feels confusing right now, pause for a moment and really hear this. Because what if the situation you are trying to end is not actually the end at all? What if you are reacting to a moment, but God is working on a process? What if silence is not rejection? What if distance is not disappearance? What if you are standing in a chapter that is still being written, but you are already trying to close the book? God says, I have not removed this person from your life. And before you assume what that means, listen closely. It does not always mean everything is perfect. It does not mean there are no issues. It does not mean there are no mistakes or misunderstandings. What it means is this: you are not seeing the full picture, and you are being invited to trust me in what you cannot interpret yet. Right now, you are reacting based on what you can see, but I am dealing with what is hidden. You are interpreting behavior, but I am shaping hearts. You are trying to understand timing, but I am aligning purpose. And when you rely only on what is visible, you will misread what is still in motion. You know what happened between you and them, but I know what was happening within them. You notice the silence, but I know the weight they are carrying. You see distance, but I see emotional processing. You see delay, but I see development. And one of the biggest mistakes people make in relationships is assuming they already know the full truth based on a limited moment. A short reply becomes, they don't care anymore. A delay becomes, they're done with me. A change in tone becomes, love is gone. But not every conclusion you feel is a fact. Proverbs 3 to 5 to 6 says, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your paths straight. That means your understanding alone is not qualified to lead you through emotional confusion. Your feelings alone are not stable enough to guide permanent decisions. That is why God is slowing you down in this season, because emotional decisions are loud but not always wise. Proverbs 19:11 says, "A person's wisdom yields patience. It is to one's glory to overlook an offense." That means maturity is not reacting to everything you feel. Maturity is knowing when to pause instead of destroy something in anger or assumption. Now, hear this clearly. God says, be careful how you treat this person right now. Not because you should ignore your boundaries, not because you should accept disrespect, but because you should not. You should not let emotional pain turn into permanent damage. Romans 12:18 says, if it is possible as far as it depends on you, live at peace with everyone. That means your response should still reflect character even when the situation feels unclear. And here's something you may not be considering. There are things happening in their life you are not seeing. Pressure. They are carrying privately emotional confusion. They are not explaining situations they are trying to process alone. Thoughts they are struggling to organize internally. So when you only see silence, you may mislabel it. What feels like disinterest may be emotional overwhelm. What feels like distance may be internal conflict. What feels like rejection may be self protection. What feels like an ending may be a pause you do not understand yet. And this is where many people make irreversible decisions. They assume the worst version of someone instead of allowing truth to unfold over time. 1 Corinthians 13:7 says, love always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Real love does not rush to conclusions. It leaves room for understanding. It gives space for healing. It does not close doors too quickly just because emotions are uncomfortable. Now listen carefully. God says, the person on your mind still thinks about you more than you realize, not constantly in the way you imagine, not always openly, but in moments you do not see, in silence you do not hear, in times when their guard is down and they are reflecting. There are memories they have not forgotten, conversations they replay, feelings they have not fully processed, and questions they are still carrying. But you will never see that clearly if you only judge by external behavior. Isaiah 55:8 says, "My thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways." That means God is working on a level you cannot fully decode right now. So stop trying to finalize what God has not finished. There are relationships that end because God closes them. There are relationships that pause because God is shaping them. And there are relationships that feel confusing because God is working on both people at the same time. That is why this season feels uncertain, because you are in the middle of a process, not the end of a story. And if you move too fast, you will misread what is still developing. So don't confuse silence with separation. Don't confuse delay with denial. Don't confuse confusion with destruction. Stay steady when emotions rise. Stay wise when assumptions get loud. Stay kind even when you don't have answers yet. Because how you handle this season will determine what you carry into the next one. And God is saying this clearly. If I am still working, nothing is wasted. If I am still shaping it, nothing is finished. If I have not closed it, do not force an ending. So don't move out of fear. Don't react out of pain. Don't close doors. I have not closed, trust me, even in what you cannot explain yet, because I have not removed this person from your life. And what I am building will make sense in my timing, not your emotions. If this message speaks to you, comment Amen and declare, Lord, I trust you with what I cannot see, understand, or control in my relationship.